Bang, bang. Welcome, guys. I'm Dustin with DFS Dads, and I'm going to be bringing you 3 wide receivers we really like this week for week 15 of the NFL DFS season. If you haven't already, please check us out on our website, dfsdads.com, Facebook and Twitter, the DFS Dads. And as always, please hit that subscribe and like button. So I'm doing a little bit different for the wide receivers this week. There's 2 guys at the top I really like, and so I'm going to do them both. I do give lower plays in our deep dive and in our Slack. So come check us out if you want some of that inside information for some of those low end plays if you're going heavy at running back or quarterback. All right, so my first wide receiver, the top end guy, Tyreek Hill. I've been all about him the past 2 weeks, and he hasn't disappointed. He only had 3 catches last game, but one of them, obviously, he housed at 80 yards. Also had a 30-yard rushing TD. So his versatility is also what makes him, a great play in any format. He obviously has the highest ceiling of any receiver on the slate, and he's just a freak athlete. He has scored the most touchdowns of any receiver on the year in the NFL, and that's a good trend. And he's explosive. They're playing New Orleans, whose strength is their front. So on the back end, he can really wreak havoc. He has a plus 54% matchup according to PFF. He's been seeing a lot of targets. He regressed a little bit. I only had 7 targets last game, but I expect the median to average back out to about 10 or more targets for him, because when they get the ball in his hands, good things happen. So Tyreek Hill, kind of a no-brainer. He's up there at 8,900 on DK, but I still think he's a viable play in any type of format. The price doesn't scare me this week at all. And then the guy that I was going back and forth with on who to pick as far as the top range, so I went with both for this video, is Calvin Ridley. He's quietly, and I say quietly because he's been banged up a little bit here and there. You got Julio that's, has some big games but been injured as well. But the guy's been really, really solid, especially sans Julio. So Ridley, back-to-back 100-yard games, had 124 last week, 108 the week before. His targets, he's always going to see about 10 targets. He actually leads the league in air yards. He's number 1, 1,630 air yards. Number 1 in deep targets with almost 3 a game. So there's really high potential there for him to have huge games. And that's what I like. He's got a safe floor because he's going to see volume, but he also has a very high ceiling because of his down the field targets. And Matt Ryan's, with Julio out, he's his best option, his only downfield threat. So he's going to take chances, he's going to take shots. And I like Ridley to catch some of those. He's still number 6 in fantasy points of all wide receivers. So he's still scoring a lot. It's just not as flashy as it's been in the past. The Atlanta offense has been kind of boggled down for the last few weeks. So I think Ridley is going to be lower owned just because his price and just kind of how quietly he's gone about his business. Hadn't scored a ton of touchdowns lately. Let me go see here. Yeah, he's kind of alternated. He has 2 touchdowns in his last 5 games, whereas early in the season he was, had multiple two touchdown games. So he's going up against Tampa Bay, and besides the Aaron Rodgers shutdown, which was kind of weird because Aaron Rodgers has torn it up every other game, Tampa Bay has not been that great. He's going up against Carlton there, and the cornerback should be shadowing him, but he has got a 30-something% advantage according to PFF as well. So I think lock and load Ridley. Atlanta's going to be playing from behind. I think Tampa's going to put it on him as far as scoring. And so just the sheer volume and him being the best playmaker out there, he's going to hit over 100 yards and more than likely get a touchdown. So love Ridley, love Tyreek this week. Another guy I really like, down at 6,300 on DK, 6,900 I believe on FanDuel, is Brandon Aiyuk. The dude has been a target monster the last 4 or 5 games. So we go back to week 7. That's kind of when his trend and target share and opportunity started to rise. He had 7 targets, then had 11, 14, 9, and 16. Those are his recent games. So you got Debo, who's out. You got Nick Mullins back there. I think Raheem Mostert is playing. So they have a good run game, but he's their by far their best option out there at the receiving core in regards to the other guys. I mean, obviously Kittle's not there. So you got Jordan Reed. You got, I think James is starting this week because of the injury. So Brandon Aiyuk is going to see the target share. He's going up against Dallas, who's not good on defense at all. I mean, they had a good game last week against Cincinnati. They had 3 fumbles in the first 3 possessions. One of them was for a touchdown. But if you watch that game, Brandon Allen, I mean, he picked them apart. He had a great game. It wasn't his fumbling. Those 3 turnovers, had they not happened, could have been scores. So I look at a guy like that, and I think Mullins, same type of level, maybe a little better because he's had a little more experience in the NFL. I just think he's going to be able to move the ball on Dallas. San Francisco, like I said, has a good run game, so it's going to open up the play action. I think Aiyuk gets 10-plus targets against a secondary that's obviously been vulnerable all year. So Brandon Aiyuk is a great leverage spot. He's 6,300, so he's not killing you on salary. And I believe he's going to see enough volume to be a top-end receiver this week. I got him in the top 10 overall. So fire up Brandon Aiyuk at 6,300 in DK. I feel safe playing him in cash and GPP. So all 3 of these guys can play in any type of tournament, any type of cash game, and obviously the MME plays as well. So come check us out. You want some lower value plays? Check out our deep dive. Our Slack is awesome. Great group of guys there in our community. Talk back and forth, game plan, game script, injury updates, that kind of thing. So dfsdads.com. Come join, come make some money, have some fun.